Hello, I'm Andrew Wasson from CreativeGuitarStudio.com. So today we're talking about the best way to follow chords when you want lead guitar added to a song's chord progression. And in this video, I have an easy lead guitar trick that works like magic to do just that. We're going to start into all this by learning a chord progression in the key of C major. Then I'll set you up with a trick to build great sounding lead guitar ideas that follow all the chords. After this, join me for the second half of the lesson over on my Patreon page, where I've got another more sophisticated example for you that takes the idea of following chords with the lead guitar part even further, and it also changes the progression's tonality over to minor. But first, before we get started, a quick word about my Handouts Collection ebook offer. Do you want an amazing guitar book that's perfect for any guitarist at any level? Well, here's how to get yourself a copy of the Creative Guitar Studio Handouts Collection ebook. It's easy to do with any donation of $5 or more made on the CreativeGuitarStudio.com website. You'll instantly receive a copy of this 100-page guitar lesson ebook. It's jam-packed full of chords, scales, arpeggios, music theory, and technique drills. Join the thousands of guitar players who've already received their copy of this amazing lesson book. Just head to CreativeGuitarStudio.com/donations to donate and download your copy today. When it comes to following the chords of a song with simple lead guitar ideas, most beginners and even some intermediate students sometimes feel like they just don't know where to start. Well, today I'm going to help you fix that by taking a set of chords, learning simple patterns for scale tones around them, and playing an easy trick that'll help you follow those chords with some lead guitar. The first thing that I'm going to get started with here is a chord progression that I put together for the lesson. It's in C major, and the chord changes are going to be C major, G in first inversion with B in the bass, A minor, and finally an F major 7 chord. So in order, when we set things up, we're doing these all as basically open or first position chords, starting on that C major chord. It's just the standard version of open position C major. And then we're going over to a G chord, but instead of having a G in the bass, we're going to be placing the B tone in the bass there on the 5th string, 2nd fret. Then on the A minor chord, it's just a standard open position A minor chord there. Finally, in the last measure, we've got F major 7, top 4 strings. Major 7 places the open string at the top there on the 1st string. And the feel of this is really laid back. We're just kind of keeping it really slow at 65 beats per minute. Something like that. Really, really basic, really straightforward. It's a simple progression, and we're just trying to keep it that way. Let's take a look next at the notes that we're going to be using to do the following chord melody lines. So the notes are going to be kept really simple as well. We're just going to use notes on the top 4 guitar strings. You can see the diagram showing up on your screen right now. So the string that we're going to start with there in the bass is going to be D, 4th string open, and we're also going to catch an E and an F on that 4th string. For the 3rd string, we'll go from G open to the A, to the B, to the C, up to the 5th fret there. And then on the 2nd string, we'll have B open, C note, the root of the scale, and then D and E also on the 3rd and 5th frets on that 2nd string. Finally, to wrap everything up, we'll have the 1st string notes of E, F, and G. All right, so just keeping it very, simplistic, we're going to do that note layout, and we're just going to stick to just even a minority of notes from that group as well. So we're going to really keep things extremely simple. And that's the whole idea of this, is you don't need to get fancy to do this, and yet you can still have something that's going to sound really nice. Now, what I want to do next is, if you're a Patreon member over at my Patreon there, so that's going to be patreon.com/Creative Guitar Studio, and you have the Knowledge and Wisdom pack, you're going to get, as part of your download for this lesson, this jam track right here. So in the background right now, you're hearing those chord changes go by. This is the G with B right now, and then you'll have A minor, and then F major 7 will come after that. Now what I want to do is I want to perform the part. Here goes. Okay, so now you know exactly what we're going to be up against here. You can tell the melody is actually quite simplistic. But before I teach it to you and do all the description about what's happening with that melody, I want to talk with you a little bit about what it is we're shooting for to create it. Now, there is going to be a foundation part that's going to stick true for every measure pretty much, and it's a grace note slide coming up here on the 3rd string from the 3rd fret to the 5th and then back to the 3rd fret. And for the most part, on a lot of the measures, we're also going to carry over to the 3rd string and grab this 4th fret B note. After that, though, we're going to, just play a couple of different things before taking it around to the most important thing that we're going to be taking a look at, which is on every one of the measures, we're going to look at the bass note of the chord that's happening, and we're going to target that in our phrase. So the target tone we're going to be looking for on the 3rd string in this case is a 5th fret C, because this is a C chord and it's got C in the bass. So we do our chord and then we follow that chord with the foundation idea, which is that grace note slide, remember? And then back, and then in this case we're hitting a 4th fret B and then into the C note to connect with that C that's part of that chord happening at the moment. Now when we move to the 2nd measure, remember we have a G major chord, but it's got B in the bass. So the B tone is going to be our target phrase, and we're going to go, keep things pretty simple into that B on the 4th fret of the 3rd string. So we'll go, let me do that one more time. All right, so now we've covered our G chord, we've targeted that B over here on the 3rd string, 4th fret. The next thing we're going to do is move on to the next measure, which is an A minor. And on this one, we're going to do that foundation part. But we're going to add a little bit of something special here with a 16th note hammer on. So that's going to happen on the 3rd string on 4th to 5th frets, and then go over here to the 2nd fret, 3rd string to wrap things up, because that's an A, and our chord of the moment is an A minor. Bass note is A, so we're targeting the A on that note for the connection that we want to that bass tone. Now, finally, on the last measure, we got that F major 7 chord happening. We're going to do our foundation phrase, drop down to a C, and then hit the F as our last note right here on the 1st string, 1st fret. And we've completed all 4 measures. So it's pretty simplistic when you look at it this way, that we have this foundation phrase with this grace note slide idea and back, and then we're playing in a lot of cases this 4th fret B also, but we change it up a little bit as time goes on. One thing also to keep in mind is the idea with the consistency of rhythm, and then also trying to kind of jazz it up a little bit. That's why we had that grace note thing happening in there. And then another thing too is in the 3rd measure on that A minor harmony, we have a hammer on there that's going to be taking place using some 16th notes. But in general, the lengthier notes are going to be either quarter notes or half note. And then we've also got, for fancier stuff to spice it up, we've got the grace note slide. And then we've also got that hammer on that's taking place as a 16th note idea. So you can tell, there's a lot of consistency and we're keeping things really well balanced. But the primary aspect here is we have a group of scale tones that are very, small and in a isolated register, and then from those notes we're just doing a couple simple things like creating a foundation phrase, something like that, and then after that we're targeting. We need to go to the root of every single chord that's happening. Well, I should say the root, the bass tone is really what I want to say, the bass tone of every chord. So that means C note on the C major chord, on the G with B in the bass we're hitting a B, and then when we get to the A minor chord we're hitting an A, and then when we get over to that F major 7 chord we're hitting an F. Okay, and that is the system. It's as simple as that. But, I know this is really basics, keeping it in the open position and everything. So in the second part of this lesson, in the second video that I'm going to be doing over on Patreon, what we're going to do instead is take everything from over here and put it more in the middle of the neck. And I'm going to show you also a different tonality, because we're going to be transferring things over from C major over to its relative minor, which is A minor. And we're going to, spice the chords up a little bit too, because I've got some more 7th quality concepts that are going to be going on fun as well. They're really nice sounds. So I hope to catch up with you next over on Patreon. That address once more is patreon.com/Creative Guitar Studio. I'm doing Patreon now for several years, and there's tons of stuff over there. You're going to love it if you pick up a membership. Also, you know, if you need a little bit more knowledge and wisdom on your guitar fretboard with music theory and guitar theory, it's maybe time to check out my website. It's a different website than Patreon. It's creativeguitarstudio.com, and over there I've got all my courses. There's also a ton of free stuff too. If you grab a free membership, it's going to unlock a ton of free lessons that are on there. Aside from that though, if you grab a paid program, either monthly or with the annual payment program, you're going to get access to all of my curriculum. So all the core curriculum material like the beginner program, intermediate, advanced, as well as all the electives like the acoustic guitar program, guitar soloing, guitar technique, and a host of others as well. So go check it out. It's a fantastic website, creativeguitarstudio.com. Otherwise, I look forward to seeing you next for the part 2 lesson here over on Patreon. It's going to be patreon.com/Creative Guitar Studio. If you're signed up as one of my $15 a month Patreon members, you'll get to watch a bonus video for the second half of this lesson. And in the bonus part 2 video, I've got another more sophisticated example for you that takes the idea of following chords with a lead guitar part even further by playing the chord progression more in the middle of the neck, along with making a change to the progression's tonality from major over to minor. Plus, as a Patreon member, along with that bonus video, you'll get a jam track, and you'll also get to download a detailed PDF handout that shows you all of the examples in both music notation and in tab. Plus, it also includes a number of additional tips and explanations that you don't get in the video lessons. So head over to my Patreon, become a $15 a month supporter today at patreon.com/Creative Guitar Studio. And guys, if you want to help support the channel even further, check out our Teespring store. The link is located inside the top pinned comment below. The store has all kinds of great guitar designs on t-shirts, sweaters, bags, hats, and coffee cups. All the designs and the prints are top quality. In fact, I'm wearing one of the shirts right now. Let me tell you, the fabrics and the prints are just fantastic. Go and check out the store, and if you're a member of the website, use your Creative Guitar Studio coupon code to get your members discount at checkout on Teespring. Now, if you found this video helpful, make sure you leave your comments and give the video a thumbs up below. And remember, if you're looking for a step-by-step guitar program that puts real tested methods into a proven guitar course, not just random YouTube videos, it's all available over at creativeguitarstudio.com. Plus, you're going to want to make sure you're seeing all my guitar lessons here on YouTube. So go and turn on those notifications, ring the bell, and subscribe to the channel. All right, guys, I'll be back here again real soon with another video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again next time. Bye for now. I have over 30 years experience teaching guitar, and I've written a well-organized step-by-step guitar course. Head over to my website at creativeguitarstudio.com and sign up for a free membership today. Join the thousands of members worldwide who have already enrolled. There's no need to learn the guitar on your own. Let me help you become the best guitar player you can be.